It's our new, how we segue into, we are recording. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Zara Ali.
And Paula V might come, but if she doesn't, we'll give her a call.
Yeah.
I just noticed you're sitting on a cushion, dude.
I don't remember ever. So apparently I've always done this and I just didn't know. And then Paul brought it to my attention. Like,
it's a booster seat.
Yeah, I have a booster seat. I have a little bit of a booster. Because, I don't know, the studio is made for everyone who's like 5'6" or taller.
Like the average human size?
No, the average human size for American women is 5'4". Okay?
I don't know if that's true still.
Hey,
like in the 80s, dude.
I'm going to Google that shit. What do you mean in the 80s? What?
In the 90s.
You mean before they started putting steroids in all of our
food? Yeah, now we're all big.
Let's find out.
We're all big. We're bigger than our parents, right?
Height for
Having
women.
lived, we're first generation Americans.
I'm actually not. I'm not even as tall as my mom.
Oh, your mom's taller?
My mom's like a couple inches taller. Well, now she's like at that age where she's shrinking. 5'4". For a woman in the United States, the average height is currently 5'4". This was reported by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. So the CDC applies to women over the age of 20. Meanwhile, the average height for men of similar age in the U.S. is 5'9". Yeah.
That's way shorter than I expected.
No, it's not, because if you think of the entire country, like you're probably surrounded by like beautiful tall people in Hollywood, right? Like all the tall, beautiful people come to Hollywood, you know?
I've been in the city too long.
But like in New York, I was surrounded by, like gremlins just like me.
Like, damn gremlin.
Yeah, and like all around the country, it's an average.
Well, I learned something today.
I've been telling you girls this for years now. Like, you women...
I thought this was an old stat.
No, it's not an old stat. Like you women are Amazonians. Like, for Indian women, you're tall, but even for, like, American women, you're really tall. Like, I'm more so average height for a Desi woman.
How tall are you?
I'm, like, 5'1".
Okay.
And Desi women tend to be shorter, like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah.
So, like, that... Like, I'm not, like... It's not out of the ordinary.
I mean, most
really
of the women in
short.
my family are in that range, 5 to 5'4".
Yeah, most of the women in my family are your height, which is why
really.
I mean, it's just everyone was supposed to be a supermodel, and then I just came out like a defect. There's like a reason why I'm insecure, like I was just surrounded by like tall, beautiful women.
A lot of the top actors are shorter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the celebrities, the Uber celebrities, the actors are shorter. And the celebrities, like, if you look good on camera, it's like easier for you to look good on camera if you're smaller.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to frame you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why a lot of people on TV, like those TV stars, old TV stars, are shorter.
And then if you're going to have a love interest, traditionally they want to pair you up, see what it looks like together.
Like freaking Tom Cruise is 5'6", and he was like the big hit of the 80s.
I recently shot something with a male celebrity. I'm not going to say who it is, but he was definitely wearing inserts in his shoes to be taller. And you can tell, because like when women wear heels, you can tell like the calf looks different, the booty sits differently. So like I was like, this is not subtle. He like
you could tell?
Yeah.
How could you tell?
Because
was he standing weird? Like was he standing like he was wearing heels?
Yeah. Well, you have to. How else would you? They're not like, he's not wearing like platforms. There's like a little wedge inside. So like the way, those sneakers women have with like the hidden platform?
Yeah.
It looked like that.
Okay.
So it was
interesting.
Yeah, I mean his ass looked great.
Now I'm curious. You have an NDA though, so you can't talk about it.
Yeah, definitely not on here. But
okay, well,
I just thought it was so interesting because it was like it wasn't subtle. And this was like a lot of them are like 5'5", 5'6".
Yeah, I mean like the older guys like
Mark Wahlberg. I ran into him.
Mark Wahlberg is small. What are all these guys? The ones that are older now, like De Niro. Yeah. I can't even think. Like all these, Dustin Hoffman, they're all like short, like 5'5" short.
Yeah, but now we have all kinds of lenses. So you have like the Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah.
The,
so now
big
technology has now caught up with the tall people. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, my parents always told me because I'm 5'7", and I'm very tall in my family compared to some of the women, and they told me that I got this tall because I ate like a linebacker growing up.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that's true. I mean, they're doctors, so you think that,
that could be
it would make sense, but
like if you look at there's been so many memes about this. Like if you look at the American football, the soccer team, the American girls soccer team, they were like standing next to like, I don't know, I want to say it was like one of the Latin American countries, maybe Ecuador or something like that. And the American girls all like are massive compared to them. I mean, genetically, but also like our food has all this GMO stuff in it that's supposed to like,
Well, girls are getting their period at 4. Like, it's wild.
What?
That was a gross exaggeration, although I'm sure it's happened at some point. But that's
early, though.
But girls are developing really early. Like, I got my period when I was damn near 14. Maybe 13.
I was 12. I was 12. And my mom was so confused. She's like, what? Already? But I think as a mom, like when that happens to your firstborn, you're just like, oh, crap. This is a whole bunch of other like can of worms I have to deal with.
How did she, like, what was her response to it?
And not great, but I think also like they also, they kind of teach you in school what to do. Then don't they all like they sit you down in like 5th grade and like they separate the girls and the boys?
Yeah, there was like a little
there's
class
like
or whatever.
A class or whatever. So I was kind of prepared, but my mom wasn't really.
Dude.
Yeah, she was like, okay, welcome to womanhood.
She said, welcome to womanhood,
something like that, and she's like, here,
in Urdu,
sort of, yeah, and he's like, here's a box of pads.
See, I started crying.
It's like the same thing as a diaper. I'm like, okay,
that's
great.
why I started crying, not because I got my period, but when I put on the pad, it felt like a fucking diaper, and I was like, this can't be adulthood.
It is.
So I was just, I was
until
very upset.
I'm sure Paul is so enthralled in this discussion right now.
You know what?
But,
you have some respect for the gates of life from which we came, okay? People who have an issue with vagina talk are not true feminists. It's a fucking body part. I know. I'm just
yelling at him for no reason.
This is not to Paul directly. I love Paul to death, but if he has an issue with it, then he can go fuck himself.
You guys
love you to death. But
everyone needs to respect the curtains of life, okay? They
seriously?
go through a lot. But so in my household, like no one even talked about tampons or anything. And there was like all this like talk amongst our cousins, like, oh, if you wear a tampon, you're not a virgin anymore. So like until college, like I didn't even try to attempt. Like it was so like you don't, do
tampons.
Yeah.
So I got tampons in high school because I was in a dunk booth. And I had my, you can't wear a pad in there. I was like, well, I guess, this is my option.
So you like signed up to be in a dunk booth?
Well, it was like a charity thing.
Okay.
But, so yeah, I mean, my parents, like no one in my, I don't think the women in my family wear tampons, not in my nuclear family, not to put their business out there, but, whatever sanitary napkin makes you happy, go for it.
I don't know if this is like a South Asian, Arab,
Google this shit.
Peninsula thing. Or if it's like an immigrant thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a religious thing or whatever. But like I know so many first generation women that like when they were kids, it was like, no tampons allowed. It's like forbidden. It's like,
see, I didn't even ask. I just went to the store and bought it because I was like, well, I'm not going to have my pad disintegrate in this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been
So I just
gross.
took care of it myself.
But like,
I introduced
hard?
tampons to like my family.
Yeah.
Like I was like, dude, you guys have no, but they, I think that fear of like it being not taking your virginity, because I think we know like it's not taking your virginity, like.
Well, now we know that now.
Yeah,
but sorry, I'm like checking my emails.
Tampons are awesome.
They are, and so
not
like
going to be the title.
So that was like that was like the first wave of like this newfound freedom I had in college, and like it was like one of the first things I tried. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this tampon, even though it's like taboo or whatever. I'm going to do it, and then after I did it, I was like, what other amazing things is my culture and my family like keeping me from?
Oh my God, it's like nothing. It's like you don't have anything in
your but it's a no-brainer. So I'm like, what other things? So that's when it like opened the floodgates to like try anything and everything that was like forbidden,
They should have let you have tampons.
I know. I feel like so I'm not going to keep my daughter away from tampons,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doing a disservice. Like, how are you gonna be like 16 years old and have diaper rash? You know, like that's not.
Oh my God, that's the worst. Also,
that's not okay.
I do have a feel like if they had just let me wear tampons when I was a teenager in high school, maybe I would not have done stand-up comedy. You never know. Like maybe.
Well, I'm glad they withheld that. I'm glad they didn't give you tampons.
So maybe I don't know. It just opened up like so many things. Like, oh, what else is on my bucket list I want to try?
So what else was on your bucket list?
I don't know. Aside from tampons and stand-up comedy,
what was the Pandora's box that the Pandora's vaginal box that was opened when you put tampons in it?
What else? Like all the partying and stuff. Non-Muslim boys.
Zara was having like foursomes.
No, definitely
Zara was
not.
Swingers parties.
No,
I was going to underwear parties in college.
I was never like that. Not like I was never like crazy. I was not like intimate wise. Like I've always been like serial monogamous, trying to find a husband like forever. Which has not served me well. Did not do well in my 20s with that. But
I feel like anyone I would have like chosen to be with in my 20s is not someone like we'd be divorced.
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, I lucked out not marrying any of those guys, even though like 2 of them proposed. But I just wasn't. I was like,
well, you're okay. Well, I didn't know that you had 2 proposals under your belt.
Yeah, but I was young. Like the first time I was like 22.
Were these Desi dudes?
Yeah, one was a Desi Pakistani.
Trying to lock it down?
Yeah, they were trying to lock it down.
Was this through your parents?
No. The first one at like 21, 22, he was like my longtime boyfriend for like 3.5 years on and off throughout college because I was going nuts in college and the sorority life and all of that. But I mean, not nuts, but like, for a good Muslim girl, like he wasn't having it.
Yeah. He was pretty conservative.
He was conservative, but also like, so I was like born and raised here. He like came here and like, he was kind of a fob. He came here in like middle school or something.
Yeah.
So his family was a little bit more old school than my family, but like my family is like still old school. So when they found out about us, because we hid it for a long time, and they found out, my dad's like, all right, I guess you guys are getting engaged now. I guess this is happening. I guess you're going to get married right after college. And I think I freaked out and I was like, hell no, this is not. Yeah. So this guy, I don't want to, no. So yeah. So after that opened the floodgates to like, all right, I'm not going to date Muslim guys for a while. Like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I ever,
I'm surprised. You've never gotten a proposal before?
No.
But like, you had like long-term relationships and stuff.
I mean, but I've never been the type to actually push for a proposal. Like, I feel like it freaked me the fuck out.
I never do, and maybe that's probably why I'm not married yet. But I think the first. I mean,
you're doing a little pushing now, right?
I mean, no. I think he's doing more of the pushing of like us, like growing up, and like trying to like do grown up moves and like get a house in freaking the suburbs of LA and all of this stuff. So it's like those are like moves you make when you're ready to like lay down roots and stuff. Yeah, But yeah, no, that first guy, I'm so glad I didn't marry him because we would have been divorced. I remember I was doing a summer internship in Goldman Sachs, and he just could not fathom that I just did not have time for him during the day. Like, he wanted to check in 4 or 5 times throughout the day. And I was like, I don't have time. I'm like literally at a trading desk getting people coffee and like filling out spreadsheets. Like, I don't have time to talk to you. And he was like, what the fuck? You're not the CEO of Goldman Sachs. Like, you don't even have 2 minutes to talk to me. And I'm like, I just talk to you in the morning. I'll like talk to you when the day's over.
Oh God, I'm
and then like
cringing.
He was like that guy. He just didn't get it. And when you're an intern at an investment bank, like your life is over. Like you're a slave. Like that was like I was working 60, 70 hours a week, but also like when you're an intern, they're really trying to recruit you too. So like then they're taking you out afterwards. There's all these planned happy hours. So you work all day, you get trashed at night. It's like a whole thing. And this entire summer he just couldn't handle it. He was like,
I mean, that's how else are you going to learn,
That's, and you know what he said to me? This Pakistani kid, after 3.5 years of us dating, he was like, you might make more money than me, but you're never going to be better than me because you're a female.
Bye.
Exactly. And that's when I was like, okay, that's it. We're over. Like, if you have a problem with this, me at 21, what are you going to be like when we're like living our lives and our careers?
What was the appeal of this guy?
I mean, he had green eyes and
damn.
I mean,
winning the genetic lottery.
He won the genetic lottery a little bit, but then I found out he got married like a few years ago.
Let's have a moment of silence for his current wife.
But she's like the hijabi version of me.
Oh,
she's
okay.
like,
so that she's probably more traditional.
She's very traditional, but she kind of does look like me a little bit. Like a little bit. And they have 2 baby girls.
Yeah.
They have 2 baby girls. So, I mean, karma, guys. Like, if you're going to treat a woman, like, completely like shit, like, you're going to end up with daughters and you're going to learn some lessons.
I mean,
you're going to learn some lessons, honestly.
That wouldn't have, I mean, with that level of insecurity, he wouldn't, he wasn't able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, he was a couple years older than me, but, like, so at 23, 24, he couldn't handle it. I'm sure he's matured. But, like, if we're engaged and you're treating me like this, or if we're planning to get engaged, like, why would you treat your future wife like that, you know?
Yeah, that's not going to last.
Yeah.
That's not something that's worth tolerating forever.
Yeah.
Not even if you have green eyes.
Not even if you have green eyes. I know. A lot of, like, good-looking guys think they can get away with a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, you know, women who are not completely insecure and can fend for themselves, they're not going to take that shit. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people are. I've seen some fucked up situations.
Well, so, I think we all grew up around fucked up situations, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a culture of, like, you know, putting women down, and women are. I guess the generation before us, like, women were not, like, nurtured and pushed to be better, and so they kind of remain in this, like, insecure place where they weren't, or they didn't feel like they were able to, you know, stand up to men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we really haven't been set up in the best way to, you know, in society.
Well, that's changing. That's changing for this generation.
Yeah, I mean, I think most change is fairly gradual. It's, you know, it takes generations, but it's still very frustrating because as I get older, it becomes all the more clear just sort of the disenfranchisement. I don't even know if I emphasized the right syllable there, but the disenfranchisement of women, and especially women of color, everywhere.
Yeah,
literally everywhere.
Yeah, I don't like. I think it'll probably start fixing itself with the next generation.
Fixing itself, you think?
Because it's happening, right? There's going to be women of color in office. There's going to be women of color running businesses. There already are.
Yeah.
Right? I think we're just getting more attention. And also, there's this, like, browning of America happening.
Yeah,
like, more and more people are starting to look like the next generation of kids.
Dominant genes.
Very ethnically ambiguous. You know? It's like women of color, people of color are... I think it's going to be standard.
Those green eyes are scared. Recessive genes.
Oh, man.
They don't want to go away.
I think green eyes are always going to be desired, though, because they're so rare.
Yeah. I mean, I just, like, I'm rarely very attracted to someone just based on their looks. Like, I might joke around and be like, you know, he looks good.
I was 16 when I met this guy.
Yeah, that's a whole different
was
story.
Different. So, like, I evolved. You know, and I entered college and all this stuff, and then he more or less didn't.
God, I mean, he was still probably better than all the dudes I dated at that age.
Yeah.
Just literally would go to the most
dating horror
inappropriate.
Stories?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I so many. This one dude, there was some, like, he basically, like, pushed me, so I got pissed. And
he pushed you?
Yeah.
What happened to you can't lay hands on a girl? Isn't that still a rule? Paul, is that still a rule?
Yeah, it's like you
never touch a woman.
It wasn't right, so it pissed me off, and I carved bitch into his car.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and then I had to get a job at the Shrimp Shack.
Why did you have to get a job to pay for it?
Because he said he was going to go to. Well, he said he was going to go to my parents. I'd rather him have gone to the police.
To the police rather than the parents.
Yeah. So I have, like, a bunch of stories like that.
This was in Florida, though.
Yeah.
So
here in LA, well, like, yeah, I mean, I have the guy who started a cult.
Oh yeah, that
guy,
one.
Just it was sort of, I almost looked for the most inappropriate person to date, and that's who I was attracted to. So like, yeah, the way you were like, I'm done with Muslim boys, I was like, I'm done with rational men. It's not.
Did you have a bad experience with a good one, like a rational?
No,
dude?
I just came from so much
okay.
Whatever
so you thought
my
it was
wiring
normal.
was.
Yeah.
It was just that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what did it for me, and that's
right.
evolved tremendously. But I still find myself, and I think it's probably a reflection of me and where I am. But I still find myself attracted to like. I mean, everyone's gotten more appropriate. Each guy has been more and more appropriate.
I had a string of guys who weren't right for me for a while, but I mean, I was just kind of having fun and I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is also I'm
rebelling, which we all do. I feel like not just every brown girl, like I feel like everyone has this like a rebellious string that they have to go through.
Yeah.
Like my mom calls it like, fine, you want to learn the hard way.
Rumspringa.
What?
Have you heard of Rumspringa?
What's a Rumspringa?
It's the is it the Amish? Amish
Rumspringa. Let me Google.
Yeah, Rumspringa. So I think it's the Amish, but we'll double check. But it's sort of that time, I think, when the kid's a teenager, you can it is Amish. You can sort of go out.
Rite of passage during adolescence, translated in English, the jumping or hopping around in the Amish culture.
So the Amish teenagers can go out into like real society and do whatever they want, sort of go nuts,
this is crazy, why we see Amish people
use technology.
We see Amish people at like Disney World and Disney. I always see Amish people at theme parks, and it's always Amish teenagers.
But
that's what they do. Like that's one of the first things that they do. They're like, all right, let's go on a roller coaster.
But some of them will go nuts. Like they're like it's like their freshman year at college. But
some of them don't go back.
Some don't. Yeah. But this is what was more surprising to me is that most of them do.
Oh, probably because something bad happens.
No, I think it's just a lot of them like connect to the culture, and maybe that has something to do with growing up in it, but a surprising number of them do return. And of course if they don't, and
I think that's also for like the fear of being out on your own, because if you don't return, then you're completely like cut off, right?
Are you? I don't know.
I think so. I think you are. And so like you're on your own. As a very young person, you're on your own.
Well, you're not living in the community.
Yeah, you're not living in the community. And I think I actually met one or two former Amish people. And yeah, they said like their family completely, like they had to get jobs. They had to support themselves. Like there was no support.
Yeah, so it's starting over. That's really.
Yeah, it's like starting over as a young adult. And without any proper training, like at least us living out in this world, we've had training kind of like, so we know somewhat what to be prepared for.
But like I guess like the thing about sort of this Rumspringa thing is it's something, here it's like a specific life event, but we all go through it, right?
I mean most of us go through teenagers, it in college.
I guess college is
after 18. Yeah.
Is that opportunity where we're out of the house, we're sort of living on our own, we don't have to answer to anyone like, when you're living with your parents.
Yeah.
But even when I was living with my parents, I had like a double life. I would just date the most inappropriate people.
I was a con artist when I lived with my parents.
You have to be. Any Muslim American kid, first generation kid you're basically Bond. Mm-hmm. You're basically a fucking double agent and can compartmentalize like a CEO.
Yeah. Yeah,
but then it's hard
to shake it off though after you like a fully formed adult. You still keep living this double life a little bit.
Oh my God, I've been in therapy for years and years and years.
I'm just starting to now, like in the past, I think since I moved to LA, I just stopped giving a fuck about like, because it's so hard to keep track of the web of lies you've weaved and all of that.
Also after a certain age, it's like, come on.
It's exhausting, but also like,
I'm too grown for this shit.
I'm a grown-ass woman. Speaking of grown ass women, I had so I was in New York over the weekend for our facial rec show.
Yeah, how was that?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. We had on, it was a fresh face, like fresh faces for us.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of new FRC.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like new comics or new to comedy, but it's the first time a lot of them had done our show, and they were all amazing.
FRC virgins.
They were FRC virgin. We had on,
and we sacrificed them, and
well, Alingon hosted, and he's done our shows before, and he's always fantastic. But we had on our closer was Iman El Husseini.
Yeah, it was so exciting to have her on.
She is fantastic, and she was so sweet, and she was so happy that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And she would be down to do our shows whenever. But yeah, she was wonderful, and it was so refreshing to see because she's like Canadian.
Yeah,
so it was like refreshing to see like a Canadian Arab immigrant in America, and she's also a lesbian, so she has like all this other like just her story is amazing. So like all that perspective on stage is really fun to watch. So I was very excited to watch that. And we had on Nora Yaya, who's
I love Nora.
Yeah, she's amazing. I haven't really worked with her too much, but she's half Moroccan and half black, and she destroyed it. She was amazing.
And all fire.
All fire. Rima Park was great. She's really smart. She's a writer for Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my god!
So it was like really fun.
What a dope job.
Yeah, it's a dope ass job. I was like, what? How do you? I want that job. But yeah, we had on, and then we had on some like friends of FRC, like some of the guys, Mahesh Katagi, Sean Mallory, who's Desi by marriage. He married a Pakistani British woman.
So Sean's black.
Sean's black,
and he speaks Hindi.
He speaks Hindi.
Probably better than I do.
Yeah. He learned it. He's always been interested in languages, and then he married a Pakistani woman. So he's just
Urdu. So he speaks Urdu.
Urdu, but like Urdu,
it's the same language.
Like conversational Urdu is essentially the same language as Hindi. Yeah. So that's why. The language it's spoken the same.
It's more of a move for a separate identity.
Yeah,
like tribalism, nationalism.
So, but like Urdu is like. So like if I watch Pakistani news, I have a hard time understanding because they're not using conversational Urdu. They're using like are very articulate, highbrow Urdu, which I can understand, I can follow along, but like no one really speaks that way.
Yeah, and they're also pulling words from, I think Farsi too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
Well, like Urdu is a combination of Farsi and Hindi.
Yeah.
And so it's like written in the same script as like Farsi and Arabic, but it's spoken like Hindi.
Yeah, because I mean it originated in South Asia.
We were all the same people. We all spoke the same language.
We're not the same. We're not the same.
But we're the same.
We're
the same. We're all,
one love.
Yeah. I mean, we needed to communicate with each other, and we formed a similar language.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's how they say, like, a lot of in Europe, all the Latin languages are very similar, right? So if you speak Italian, you can kind of communicate with someone who spees Spanish.
Yeah. The Romance languages.
Yeah. And I think in the subcontinent and in the Arab Peninsula, it's a similar concept of language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's the purpose of language.
Yeah.
But is it still freezing in New York?
It was cold. It was actually it was the coldest weekend they'd had in a while. So
I'm ready to go to New York when it's cold because I have furs now. That's my new thing.
Yeah,
you should rock furs.
Go.
I might go for the March show.
You should.
I might go for the March one, March 27th, I think.
Yeah, the March show is looking stacked too.
Friday.
The March show is looking stacked too. But yeah, so the show was fantastic. It was great. Surprisingly, we only had 2 brown people in the audience.
What?
Yeah, and it was just like a whole bunch of like allies and friends, and some of my sorority sisters came out again. So it was fun. It was just like some of the stuff just wasn't, it's like, yeah, they came to laugh, but I don't think they were, I don't know. It was like if we had more of like the Desi people in the crowd, it would have been like more of an experience, It was still fun nonetheless. And yeah, we made a bunch of friends and fans, but yeah, Desi people, come out to our shows. I know you all don't like the cold, but I don't know, come out. I mean, now it's like the cold is like dying down a little bit. But,
yeah, I mean, I'll say this: like the Desi comedians in New York have been nothing but supportive.
Yeah,
from my experience,
they're super supportive. I think this time around,
I mean, I haven't come out when it was like in dead cold winter, so I don't know if y'all fell off. But
no, it was Natalie's birthday, so they were all over there.
Ah, yeah. Gotcha.
So they will come out. They'll come out and support your birthday, or they'll come out and support your show. So Yeah.
Well, they know the show will be back next month, but Natalie, her birthday, this is it.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Yeah. So now we know. But so then I saw my mom over this trip too.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this.
What?
Something made me think of my mom. We were talking about something before we started talking about the New York show.
Oh,
I forget.
I mean, look, I'll just make vaginas.
That's like way back. Vaginas go way back.
Look, this is just, I'm trying to get to, let's see, Rumspringa to.
I don't even know anymore.
To Paul hating women. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, my mom was calling me bossy. She's like, "You're so bossy." That's probably why you have to like, you feel like you have to do all of these things. And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not bossy. You can't say bossy anymore."
You're a boss.
I'm like, "No," but I keep telling, I'm like, "You're not allowed to say bossy in 2020."
Are you? Was bossy? I missed that one.
No, because it's so women who are like us growing up, we were traditionally called bossy, which is bad.
Yeah.
Because bossy is bad. You're not supposed to be bossy. You're supposed to be like feminine and submissive and whatever.
Interesting.
And so my mom, because she was like, "You're just like your aunts." My aunts, like my dad's sisters, are all bossy, quote unquote, and my mom's. So she's like, "You're just like your aunts. You're so bossy." I'm like, "I'm not a boss. I'm a boss. I'm not bossy."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mom, you can't." My mom teaches pre-K, and I'm like, "Mom, you can't say that anymore, and definitely don't say this to any of your students.
Don't plant these seeds.
Don't say this to any of your students because it's 2020. You can't say bossy anymore." And she's like, "Okay, well, what do I say?" I'm like, "Just say boss bitch." She's like, "I'm not gonna say bitch."
You said boss bitch to your mom?
Yeah,
I don't curse in front of my parents unless I'm real pissed, and then it just like falls out.
I don't say the F word, but I grew up like my parents immigrated here separately when they were young and grew up in Queens and New York. Like it's not.
I don't know what it is.
We didn't really filter ourselves, but like no one dropped F-bombs or anything. But yeah, she's like, I can't say.
Well, shit's not even a bad word in India.
But like, how do you teach a 4-year-old, like a pre-K girl in pre-K, how do you teach her boss bitch without saying bitch? You know, like instead of calling her boss. And I'm like, we were talking
empowered, strong, has has an idea of what she wants. And I
was thinking just like tell her she's leaning in, like the whole Sheryl Sandberg thing. That's in her book, Sheryl Sandberg, the CEO of Facebook. That's where everyone got this idea where don't call women bossy, say they're leaning in because the name of her book.
Leaning in, what do you mean?
Leaning in, like lean into the conversation instead of taking yourself out, or like get a seat at the table instead of like purposely going to the corner of the conference room. Because women have these trained behaviors, and we've been kind of brainwashed and conditioned to like be meek, and not speak up. Or if we speak up, we're considered bossy or aggressive. So instead of doing those things, instead of doing the thing that's natural to you, which might be like, oh, imposter syndrome, like, oh, maybe I don't feel like I belong in this conversation. I'm going to go sit in the corner of the room. Have a seat at the table. Lean into the conversation.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I more so called it joking, like leaning in. Yeah. Because that's like where the wave came from, like don't call women bossy. But yeah, I don't know how to tell a 4-year-old. Because like you wouldn't use empowered, right? Or would you teach a 4-year-old
that's my
girl
thing,
what empowered is?
I talk to kids like they're adults. And, it doesn't always, I don't know if it always hits, but if I had a kid. Yeah. I would try to explain it as close as I can to, they might not know what empowered means, and, maybe we could go and look up synonyms.
Synonyms
it's okay to be strong. It's okay to have a voice.
Synonyms for boss bitch.
and if a guy has an issue with it, he can go fuck himself. And that's when I am. And that's when the kid's
taken away from you. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can't say that either. So, like, how do you talk? Also, I'm just like mentally preparing myself because like all my friends back home, their kids are now starting to reach, or the kids that they do have are starting to reach toddler status. Yeah. So I find myself like censoring myself a lot, but also like I just need to think of new vocabulary that I can use around these kids.
Well, it's like you don't really, there's no way to know until you're actually in the moment communicating with them. Yeah. And then, whatever vocabulary, understanding of the language the kid has at that moment, it's sort of like you got to level with them. So it takes a lot of presence, I think, to be a parent.
It is. It does take a lot
So
of presence.
I mean, like,
this is why parents are exhausted, because it's like mentally exhausting too.
I mean, I've said it before. I'm like a single mom to myself. Like, I don't need another. I'm so good.
It is hard to take care of yourself. It is.
It's like also, I feel like there is a lot of people do want kids, and I just, knowing myself, I'm not dying to have a kid. So it's like, why should I just have one? It doesn't make any sense just because it's this milestone to hit. It's like a milestone that I'm okay walking past.
Well, we're also conditioned to think as women that
God, I'm going to have a kid and they're going to listen to this episode
yeah.
and be like, you didn't want me.
We have to. But,
I didn't know you yet.
But okay, like, so there's taking it back just to like evolution. Okay, we're all put on this earth to procreate. Like, that's just who we are. Like,
well, that's our survival of our species. If we don't do that,
it's just evolution.
We're
right?
done.
But now, because of like all the other stuff that we have in our lives, and we're nurtured to think, or we've conditioned ourselves to think that like career is important and all these other things are important, and our desires and our mental health and all these things are more important than procreating. You can have a fully fulfilled life.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with the buck stopping.
Yeah,
here. Like, I don't need to pass on my eczema. Like, I'm good.
But like, I think it's a biological thing for some women too.
Oh, of course.
I've had some of my friends tell me too, and I guess they were the lucky ones that didn't experience like postpartum depression, which a lot of women do too.
There's a biological pull because if I'm like super in love with someone, I'll have the thoughts of like, I want to have a kid. But then like the rational part of me is like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like this guy drives a motorcycle. Like,
but he's got green eyes.
But he's got green eyes.
That's about when you're
bad credit, green eyes.
Yes, when you're so physically attracted to someone. And emotionally like connected.
So that pull of like wanting to
that whole like your body and your hormones, like everything else just like fucks up your rationality.
But when I've fallen out of love with these people, I have no desire to have a kid, and I'm like,
I also
God.
feel physically repelled.
I did not.
I feel physically repelled when I like once like my brain and my emotions and my hormones have like made up that like I do not like you. I'm just like
when you're done, you're
stay
done.
away. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. So
I get that.
It's very, I don't know. And I don't know if that's like an instinctual evolutionary thing too. Like if as a species or just as an animal, like this thing is bad for you, you're not going to want to go near it.
If I've lost attraction, if I've gotten to the point where I've lost attraction, it doesn't really come back if it's gone. So sometimes like it won't be like a loss of attraction. It's like me just separating myself and moving the fuck on.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, after a period of time, it's like, I'm like, oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think kids are, maybe I'll adopt if I want kids for non-vanity reasons.
We always get into this whenever, I guess, because it's like always subconsciously on my mind. But
and I know I might hold a minority perspective when it comes to this. I know I do in my family.
Honestly, I don't think it's a minority perspective anymore.
Yeah,
I really don't.
That's true.
There's plenty of women who choose not to, and that's great.
I just think the idea of having kids sounds so stressful to me. I just get really hype about not wanting to.
So I was in Philly over the weekend too. I was everywhere over the weekend, and on the coffee table, my girlfriend had a Philadelphia magazine, and the title article that they were pushing is "Why aren't millennials having kids?"
Would you have a kid in this sort of
exactly?
Climate?
I'm like, why didn't you create a planet for us to want to have kids on?
Would you have kids with a 6-figure student loan debt?
Exactly. Also, would you pay us more than 6 figures so we can pay for our kids?
I mean, I think it takes like to live in LA. It probably takes a 6-figure annual salary to live a middle class life.
Where did I read? It was like 130 or something to. Or was it you who was telling me?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, might have been, but yeah, it takes about like 100,000, I think, to have a nice middle class life.
Yeah, to have a middle class existence.
LA suburbs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I'm
it's
like,
gotten
why
pretty
is
crazy?
This, like, you ruined it for us. That's why. And also, it's like we're not the baby boomer generation anymore, right? Like the baby boomers, they came back from war and they fucked a lot and they had all these kids.
Yeah.
And then their parents it's like everybody was just purposely trying not to have as many kids.
I mean, what it takes, like, I think as of like 5-10 years ago, I heard it takes about $1 million to raise each kid.
Yeah, it's crazy, depending on where you grow up. And I don't know, if they're trying to get away, like, if they're trying to get rid of all these, like, government programs and stuff, like, who are gonna, like, how is anyone gonna support these kids?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it is great to bring life into this world. You give someone an opportunity to discover themselves, live a life or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know if that responsibility is for me, you know.
I mean, if you got other responsibilities,
Or
I think the
other
worst
priorities,
thing
yeah.
worst thing you could do is if you have other priorities and other responsibilities is to have a kid. And everyone tells me like, "Oh, there's no right time to have a kid. Just, you know, if it happens, just embrace it." And that's fine. But also like if you were vehemently against it or if you were kind of convinced into doing it, you better change your mindset real quick because you can't raise a child letting them know like, oh, I never wanted you guys.
No, I mean, I think most people figure it out because you don't really have a choice. You just figure it out. And that might mean you just are not sleeping and you might smell like spit up, but you know, most people figure it out because like when you meet the kid, you love the kid. That's also a biological aspect. You can't help but love your child. It's the exception when someone doesn't have that kind of bond to their kid.
There are some crazy people out there.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, it is mostly the exception. I feel like when
I don't know.
A woman,
would you, if you had a kid, would you want your kid to do stand up?
I just want my kid to do what makes them happy. I would not push them into stand up. Why the fuck would like that's
exactly
just a very odd thing.
I don't think I would motivate my kid to do anything.
And I think each generation
like,
sort of swings away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I think that's just the way life moves is the pendulum always swings. So like my parents are, you know, like professional and I went to the
doctors,
arts. If I have kids, they might want to be doctors.
Yeah.
The way I didn't want to be a doctor, they might want that. Who knows?
Maybe.
So, I mean,
if it doesn't cost like $500,000 or $1 million to be a doctor by then. Yeah.
I know. And then like malpractice. And then like you also, it's like insurance, like the healthcare system here is so broken that doctors like aren't getting.
Doctors don't even want to be doctors anymore. No,
I should have gone into finance.
Yeah, that's okay. So one of my best friends is a pediatrician in Santa Cruz. And she's like, Zara, if I have to deal with one more mom who doesn't want to vaccinate her kids, like I'm going to scream. This is ridiculous. But also, it's like it's not worth it. It's not worth it to put up with like all these patients or their parents that you're telling them what's best for them. They're not listening because they think WebMD is smarter than my medical degree. And on top of that, I have to pay for malpractice insurance, and I'm going to be paying off student loans for my whole life. You know, like what? Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Like she's like, she was valedictorian of her high school. She's like, I would have made more money doing something else. I'm like, yeah.
I think pediatricians also, that's not the most lucrative.
It's not, but it's like, yeah, maybe if she became like a surgeon or something else.
A dermatologist.
A dermatologist.
Like people
they
are dying to do dermatology.
By the way, I watch the Dr. Pimple Popper on Instagram quite often.
Do you really?
That woman is making bank. She is.
Probably just off YouTube.
Probably just off YouTube, but like she's pretty famous now.
Yeah,
but I don't know unless you could figure out another way.
You have to be an entrepreneur these days, no matter what you do. If you're a doctor, you still have to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, like
Whether
now,
it's running your practice.
I'm trying to figure out other side hustles and stuff too, because like having a lot of us millennials are all like this. That's part of the reason why none of us are having babies. We're too busy working our 5 jobs because we need 5 jobs to one fulfill our passions because we all have all seen our parents being miserable, like doing their 9 to 5, doing their jobs that they weren't happy doing, but they just did it to provide for the families, right? So we want to have passion in our careers, but then 2, we're also doing jobs to like pay the bills and pay the rent and all this stuff. So a lot of millennials are working like 3-4 jobs and other side hustles and.
Well, then it's just like, how the hell do you find an extra $1 million just to raise a kid?
Exactly.
People are doing it.
People are, but I mean,
left and right. I mean, how many people are in this world now?
A lot of people I know.
Are we over 8 billion?
A lot. I think it's more than that now. But a lot of people I know who are like having kids or whatever, everyone's got like side hustles going on.
Yeah.
Everyone's got like a side way of like making money.
And it helps to have a 2-person income household as well.
A dual income helps immensely. I don't know anyone in my circle where where someone's just sitting at home. There was a stay-at-home dad in my circle for a while, but that's because it was easier for him to not work and take care of the baby and for her to go to work and do her job.
So then also both parents
But
are
now
working,
they're both back to working.
So you have to like pay for childcare.
Right. And childcare is fucking expensive too. It's like almost as much as we pay for rent in LA. It's pretty expensive. Like childcare could easily be like $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
So
depending on how many children you have.
The question is,
yeah, do
you want kids?
Right now I'm just seeing dollar signs go up like everywhere. Like I'm just like everything has a price tag on it right now. And I think it's also because like we're house shopping and I'm like, how are we going to do this?
Well, like, one step at a time, I guess.
Yeah. So right now I'm trying to like just focus on like, all right, well, how am I going to afford this thing? And then when I'm ready for the next thing, which I don't think I ever will be, everything is just going to be like, how am I going to afford this?
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of like money making ideas at the moment.
I mean, listen and like and subscribe. So
if you want to find out my money making schemes, that's pretty much what my life is going to be about in 2020. Just figuring out ways to make more money.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, if you like this podcast, tell a friend,
subscribe, tell a friend.
We want to, ultimately artists, we want to be able to put our focus into the art, put our, and if we're spread so thin, trying to like find a way to afford cat food for ourselves because it's on sale and we're hungry. What?
Like, who's eating cat food?
I mean, I'm being hyperbolic.
Yeah. But
okay.
I mean, tuna.
It gets the point
Tuna's
across. Good. It gets the point across. Like we need it is very helpful to support art and artists.
Yeah.
If you really like, what people who you listen to the radio, music's playing in elevators, music's playing in stores. Like if you took away all of that, if you took away all entertainment, books, movies, everything, like
life would be boring. Yeah. Can you imagine every comedian out there, every meme that you laugh at was inspired by a joke that a comedian wrote, okay? Like for free. So like all of our content gets stolen all the time. We don't get paid for 90% of the shit that we put out there.
Which takes energy, focus, and work.
Yeah, and we're putting in so much time. Like, I don't know. I mean, you support your friends' businesses. Artists are the same way.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so much support for my blogger friends. Anytime friends like put out a beauty product or they become entrepreneurs, like friends are the first ones to like buy their t-shirts, buy their products, go to their openings and stuff. Comedians, artists, like we're the same. We have shows, come out to shows. We have podcasts. Subscribe to our podcast. Like I don't think that's too hard. It's a button. It's a button. It's just like a couple of taps on your iPhone. Subscribe. If you follow us on socials, just like our shit. I mean, that's free. It's free. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like I've heard like we've had people reach out and say they love the podcast, and I encourage those people to like if you know someone else who might be into it, share it.
Yeah, share it because the more subscribers we get, maybe we'll get sponsors and somebody will actually pay us to be here. I don't
want 8 side hustles. I want like 5.
I have 5 right now, and that's exhausting. I have 5 side hustles, a grown-up job, and comedy. Like, it's just a lot.
What are your side hustles?
Just a lot. It's just a lot.
Some of them.
Well, I'm a brand ambassador for Petos. Petos chickpea chips, you guys. They're chickpea snacks. They're amazing. Go buy them. They're great. They're like better than Cheetos. They are, and they're cancer-free. So that's.
Oh, yeah. Like most things aren't.
Most things are not. Most Cheetos actually are not cancer free.
But this is a new product, so how do we know it's not cancer free?
Well, because it's all natural spices. It's a desi guy, an Indian guy had a concept because you know how we all grew up eating like these chickpea things. So he was basically like, why don't I just like put this in like a plastic, like a chip bag? And so that's basically what he did. And
what do they call it? Growing up? Churi.
I forget what they're called. Yeah. But it's basically like different. Like he has like onion ring flavors, all these like different flavors, and they're all like based on Indian spices.
The magic word for me.
They're all based on Indian spices, and they're amazing. So if you want pitos, go check it out.
This is turned into one big ad for.
This is just me and my money making.
This is working for free.
I'm selling all my shit.
Yeah,
I'm selling my shit.
What are you selling?
I'm selling like half my jewelry.
Oh.
Yeah.
On where? Like, cause I can
Facebook Marketplace.
And people are like,
buy it. People buy it. Facebook Marketplace, and I'm selling my furniture on OfferUp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like getting rid of like all my shit.
Okay.
Because like
preparing for the move.
But also I was like kind of in the whole Marie Kondo movement.
Yeah.
Last year, and then I just put it off for so long, and now it's like, well, I got to get rid of this shit anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just selling it. So instead of like, I know there's like you're supposed to donate and stuff, but like. Some of my stuff is really nice, and I'd rather just make some money off of it.
You donate what you don't.
Yeah,
you can't sell.
Well,
I mean, like for me,
I donate stuff that's like really like it's out of style, or I know no one's gonna buy it. Like no one's buying like all my promo T-shirts. And as comedians, we get a lot of just T-shirts just for living our comedy lives. Like that's all going.
So you
somewhere.
dropped it off at Goodwill.
Yeah. But yeah, old shoes and stuff. But yeah, otherwise, I'm like selling. Yeah,
that's a good little hustle.
Yeah, you guys use Facebook Marketplace. It's amazing. I bought stuff from there. It's pretty good.
You bought stuff from I think I sold like my knee when I broke my foot. I had like a knee scooter, so I think I sold that on Facebook Market a few years ago.
Knee scooters sound fun though. I would have just kept that.
It's just like a big old thing I'm not using. It was fun. I will say that it was super fun, but I wanted the money.
Yeah. I have all these props too from all these like sketch shows that we do.
What's the weirdest prop that you have right now?
I have the official Disney mask for the Beast. Like I have a huge it's just this huge massive that I have a construction worker's hat.
He has the biggest head. The Beast and Beauty and the Beast has the biggest.
I'm never going to use it. And when I first got it, everyone in my sketch group was like, "Oh, we're going to end up doing so many sketches with this." And then like the sketch group disbanded, and it's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do with this now?" Like, there's only so many Disney sketches you can do, And
then you have this big head, this big boar's head just sitting in.
But like everyone. I don't know. This happens with you, but like a lot of people in entertainment, especially in like comedy, sketch comedy, and actors, you just end up with an entire closet full of props and like clothes and things that like you only would ever wear for that purpose.
Oh yeah, I see my next door neighbor. They have a kid, so I just like end up giving a lot of them away as toys. Yeah,
maybe I'll take the toys with me to the neighborhood that we're moving to with the nice school district. But yeah, like
I mean, but also if you're moving into a house, you're gonna have more space.
Yeah, but I also don't want to like, bring crap into the. I want to start clean. I don't want to bring more crap. Like the whole point.
All your single crap.
All my
single girl crap.
But I mean, like, my prop closet full of like swords and hats, and I have like all these like Renaissance fair dresses from like. When I did like monologues from like Macbeth and stuff, like why? I'm never gonna do this monologue. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know, but it's just. Yeah, like I'm not gonna be wearing this dress for a monologue anytime in the near future.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
You're gonna give it away and then you're gonna need it.
That
always
right.
happens.
That's why.
But you still have to give it away because if you don't give it away, you're never gonna need it.
Yeah,
but then sitting there.
But then if you're doing the whole Marie Kondo thing and you're like asking yourself, like, does this bring me joy? Like, yeah, that one. Okay, fine. It brought me joy. It helped me get through that monologue. But like,
does it still bring you joy?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if I can ever.
You kind of want that Shakespearean dress. But
that's the thing. So like, I got to keep that. So then there's so many of those things that like quote unquote brought me joy.
You were doing the Lady Macbeth monologue.
I was doing the Lady Macbeth monologue.
That's dark.
You know the one where
trying to wash the blood off your hands?
No. The one before that.
What was that?
The one where she.
That was a boss bitch. Lady Macbeth was a boss bitch.
Lady Macbeth was, like, even though she's crazy, she became crazy, she was a boss bitch. So it was, like, I had to channel that part.
Macbeth, the Macbeth dude, she was like, look, move over.
Well, that's what happened. It was when she devised this plan. You know, like that scene where she's, like, devising the plan, like, he's coming. She finds out that he's coming, and she's like, oh, he's coming? Okay, like, and then she's, like, making up basically she's like building this plan in her head, like we're gonna kill him, and
crazy as hell. But that's
but she's like, hey, my man isn't man enough to do this, so I'm the smart one, and I'm gonna convince him to kill the king so he can become king, so we can be the power Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yeah. You know, like that's where I had to go with that in 2019 when I did the monologue.
Yeah.
But so like it was a cool ass dress. So I'm like, all right.
Ruthless. This was like ruthless, this was like what's that Kevin Spacey show on
the one
Netflix?
That's canceled? The one with Robin Wright, right?
Yeah, man, this was like gay. Or
why am I love this show, and House of Cards.
House of Cards, man. This was like a.
So if you think about it, like I think so, it took me a while. I wasn't into Shakespeare in high school when I was forced to read it.
But who the fuck is?
I know, but like now as an adult,
because
of acting class and all this stuff, like when I'm like, you know,
the stories were great.
The stories are
just like in a different language.
And every plot line in like modern, every plot line in like modern shows, all the hit shows that you're seeing, all the hit movies, they're all out of some Shakespearean tale. Like everything is like out of like, I think I was watching like, I got into Sons of Anarchy, like really, like I was a fan, but I was like, the whole time I'm like, what does this remind me of? And then 2 years into watching it, I'm like, oh, this is Hamlet. This is Hamlet.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is Hamlet, but it's like, I mean, Charlie Hunnam's hot, so I will keep watching it, but it's also like, it's a dope ass show. And it's, I mean, I don't know. I think Shakespeare's dope. Go.
10 Things I Hate About You, Taming of the Shrew.
Taming of the
Pretty
Shrew.
directly.
Yeah, pretty much.
By.
Yeah. But so what Shakespeare play what Shakespeare play is facial recognition comedy? Like,
well, I think that has yet to.
Yeah, we got to figure out what our plot line's going to be.
It's still unfolding. We'll see. Yeah. Should we try calling?
Oh, yeah.
How much time do we have? Yeah, let's try Paula.
Do it real quick.
Do we have headphones? We need headphones. See, now I'm just like,
do the headphones. This is every time we go through this.
I know, man.
We did this on the last episode too. We got to call Paula V.
Speaker.
Yo, where is Paula V though?
I think she might be working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Plus, we're gonna call, and she's not gonna pick up.
Yeah,
and everything. Why we do all that?
She's so busy. You know, we get busy in waves. Like we're always all busy, but
that's
I feel
what's good about having a bunch of us.
Yeah, it helps. Man, I missed you guys. I really missed you guys on Friday night at the New York show because I was the only one there. Oof. And Zen, our producer, she lost her wallet on the way to the show in her Uber. She left it in there, and her green card was in there.
Oof.
So like she's like, oh shit, I gotta go. I'm like, yeah, go find your green card.
Yeah.
But like I was handling it all on my own.
That's a lot.
It was a lot, but it was like, oh man, this is why there's three of us. Like this is why it works. Like it's always good to have extra hands. And luckily,
and then if we're on a show, that's the thing is if there's three of us and we're all performing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, we need, like, you know, it'd be helpful to have someone else who's not.
Yeah.
To be the point person that day. And that's what's so great about having Zen in New York.
Yeah. But like Alingon was there and he was able to like help a lot. So it was wonderful. But it was
a show, man. People like to produce a good show. There's so many moving parts. And if you do it seamlessly, it doesn't look like it's a hard thing. You're just,
There's a lot going on. There's like, we're doing our social media. We're managing the light. We're like trying to figure out the finances in the back. We're talking to the bartenders about like the checks and stuff. There's just a lot going on.
Schedule. Then like any sort of live production, there's going to be unexpected things popping up.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. There's a reason why every live production has a producer and a director, all those things. But there's a reason why there's three of us.
I mean, really, there could be more.
Maybe
more people, like
more people, just a team. Maybe we need to expand. Does anyone want to submit applications? Go ahead and email us at facialrecognitioncomedy@gmail.com.
I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great. This is expanding. It's just, you know, obviously, it's, as you would say, a bandwidth issue.
Yeah,
it's like what I've heard is outsourcing, growing the team. Everyone's saying, like, someone was telling me they're running a show. And they'd be happy just paying everyone to do everything if they just walked away with 20 after and didn't have to do anything. Like, you know, it's just, I think there's something smart about being able to, I don't know, otherwise, how would you have time for anything?
There isn't. I mean, we're just one person. Somebody got mad at me in New York because when I came in, I landed a little bit later than I thought I would. And I wasn't able to do a show before our show. Yeah. Like I was supposed to, I was scheduled to, but the show that I was scheduled on was all the way in Newark.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
And our show was all the way in Manhattan. And he got so mad at me. And I contacted him like 3 hours before. I'm like, listen, there's a lot going on. My flight was delayed. I'm still wrapping up work. I don't think I'll make it to Newark. You know, I'm just letting you know. He's like, oh, this is so unprofessional to tell me this now. And I'm like,
really?
Hold on. You're not paying me.
Oh, right. Well, this happens all the time. This
and I'm like, too, like this happens.
Lineups are always
a
subject
lot.
to change.
But then also, it's like I also took it with a grain of salt. Like, you know, you're not running a business. Like, all right, you know what? You're not producing a show, so you don't understand what I'm going through right now. So I'm not. I apologize. I'm sorry if you feel like this is unprofessional, but like, there's a lot going on today, and I'm sure you can do with one less comic. Like it's 10 minutes of the show. You know, like if I was financially committed to being there, I would have been there 110%.
Oh yeah, if it's not like whatever's gonna pay you more.
If I've signed a contract or whatever, but like our show is money, right? And like I was like, I reached out as in like, hey, I just want to run my set before our show somewhere, and he's like, well, I have something in Newark. It's going to be a good crowd. And I'm like, all right, well, I can probably go in on my way. But it didn't work out that way. So I don't know. I think people need to give people a little bit of a break when they're doing free things for you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it was expected. Like, if you aren't paying someone, then if they find, if they have something that takes priority because it's paying you, then, you deal with it. But, actually, I guess it is stressful. Maybe he was just stressed out because it was like a last-minute thing. And it's
3 hours? I don't think 3 hours
how far is Newark?
Newark is like, it's like 40 minutes away, but there was like 5-6 comics on the lineup.
Oh, yes.
You know, so like just split my time amongst all the other comics. Everyone's fine doing another 2 minutes. Like, that's never been an issue, you know?
Well,
So, yeah. But, I mean, that's just, like, comedy problems. But the next day, I caught Zen's bad luck, and I left my phone in a Lyft.
No!
Yeah, I was in Philly, and I was getting to my friend's place, and there was just a lot going on. I was holding flowers. I was holding my backpack.
Yeah.
I did the Pallavi move this time. I just traveled with a huge-ass backpack everywhere.
I don't know how y'all do it.
And it was just... like, I was talking to Asher at the time. They said that, they gave us, like, some good news about the house. And, like, I'm like, what? So, like, there's a lot going on. And I, like, forgot my phone in the Lyft.
Did you get it? I mean, obviously you got it back, but how?
I got it back. So, like, when I got to my friend's place, which I didn't know the address. So that was, like, a whole nother thing. They live in this huge complex. I'm, like, talking to their security person. And that was a whole thing. But so, basically, all the husbands got together. And then they just kept calling my phone over and over again. The husbands all handled it. This is why you get married. So if your friend's in a crisis, your husband can handle it. Like, they all handled it.
See, you have so many married friends.
It was great, though. I was like, oh, my God. I love these guys. Thank you for marrying these intelligent people.
Yeah.
So they just kept calling him. And then eventually there was a passenger in the back that, like, gave the phone to the Lyft driver. And the Lyft driver called back from one of the phones to one of the husbands. And he was like, hey, I have the phone. I can come drop it off. And we were like, all right, I will pay you. And then he was like, no, ma'am, I am a military officer. And this is my duty. My duty is to serve our U.S. citizens. So he like sent a screenshot back he sent a picture of my phone, his military ID.
Yeah.
And his actual driver's license with his like name and address on it.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa,
That's
okay.
a man with honor.
I'm like, wow, that is, so I was like, thank you for your service. And also thank you for your service.
Yeah, you left like, your phone with a samurai.
I left so I think I just got lucky that day. But yeah, I mean, thank you to the military for, serving even when you're off duty.
Yeah,
like,
wow,
that's
this guy
amazing.
Is a true American hero.
Yeah, and then they are not allowed to take like cash tips.
City of brotherly love.
I was like ready to give him like $50. He's like, no, I'm not. I can't do that. And just like as an honorable dude. So, and then the most I could give him through the app was like a $20 tip. Because they charge you, and anytime you leave a lost item and they return it, they charge you $15 anyway.
Yeah.
But but the most you can leave is like a $20 tip or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, thank you, Charles from Philadelphia, for giving me my phone back.
City of brotherly love.
Totally. Yes.
I mean, I don't know. See, I assume that if you leave a phone in an Uber in Philly, it's gone.
Yeah, I thought I was done for, and I was like, oh my God, all the pictures from last night, my jokes, like everything's on my phone.
I know everything's. Do you save? Does it save to the cloud?
It does, but I keep getting this thing that it hasn't been backed up for a couple of days, so I should probably back it up. But yeah,
Oh my God, I know. We're like cyborgs. We need our phones.
Yeah, it's so debilitating though.
Yeah, we've become so dependent.
Our phones
on
are our
technology.
entire lives, and like if you have all your password management and stuff on your phone, like you're done for. If someone hacks into it, they could hack into anything.
Speaking of someone tried to hack into my Facebook.
What?
And I got because I've seen too many people get hacked, and it's so disruptive, especially when we use social media for work, etc. So I did the double authentication, and if someone tries to sign in, it's gonna go to one of my contact things and whatever. I saw someone tried to sign in twice, and I don't know who it was, but it wasn't me. So someone was trying to play games.
It could also be ask your neighbors too, because we had a problem where someone basically was able to get into our Wi-Fi's, like me and the 3 neighbors that I have, and they just hacked into our social medias and stuff like that.
You can do that through.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I know. I wish I was more literate.
So then we all Spectrum came and gave us all new modems and stuff, new secure weird shit.
Yeah, I just
I don't understand the hacker world, but they just get more advanced more and more every day.
I mean, you can do some cool shit as a hacker. You can get into people's camera. Look, someone could look at me while I'm looking at my phone, and I don't even know that
already
shit.
listeling and looking at you. This is why people.
But I'm talking about everyday hacker people.
This is my work laptop. They gave us a thing to cover our cameras. Because people are watching.
Well, that's the thing it's just they probably have so many compromising videos of me. I'm just I can't have secrets.
They don't care. They don't care unless you're a celebrity, which you will be soon.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just you can't. So it's you have to just.
Hey, your feet are already on the internet, okay? So that's
barely, and thank God, I am an expert cropper.
That's gonna be my next side hustle. I'm gonna try
to
figure
out. Head to ankle, boy. I keep it together, head to ankle.
That's my 6th side hustle. I'm trying to figure out how to make money off my feet.
Oh my God, you absolutely should. I'm trying to find out these dudes who want used underwear. Why not?
That's the thing. You could sell it in Japan. That's what I keep hearing.
But that's shipping, though.
No, I keep hearing Japan is the place where you can sell used underwear.
Yeah.
I've also heard that they have vending machines with used panties.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
we should
there's a market.
There's a market.
I love. Why is there any shame in if there's a market for what's it hurt? Who's it hurting?
I don't know.
It's not hurting me.
Well,
no. Do you have to sell do you have to buy nice panties?
I don't know.
What's the markup?
I don't want to Google that on my work phone. I mean, on my work laptop, but we should Google that. Yeah, if anyone out there is in the market of selling used panties, please slide up in our DMs and let us know.
We'll add a reward tier on our Patreon. If you want some FRC used panties,
there are
$5 a month.
People in LA are doing that. We know women in LA who are doing that.
And they're fucking geniuses.
Reward tiers on your Patreon for some scandalous content.
These women are geniuses. How have I waited this long in my life?
I don't know. I think it's an integrity thing, but it's is it though?
But when you now it's just all right, well, time's a ticking. So yeah, integrity kind of
at some point, my integrity and the ability to make money and being a boss ass bitch, it's
But beyond that, it's as you get older, you realize, oh, I can't take this body for granted, this face. Because you know what I'm saying? If we're lucky enough to age and, we might have our tits in our shoes, it's just, so it's you want to capture the good memories.
You're right. You might have your
Instagram post feed, you scroll down 20 years, and you're
flaunt
damn,
it while you still have it. Yeah. I'm just getting into this realization. Yeah. It happened over the weekend. Someone posted our stalker was there. Our resident creeper.
Oh, love him.
Rahim. Love you.
Maybe we shouldn't say love might be a strong word for
love the support that you have for us.
Love the support.
He took this boomerang of me. You know that bit I do with the headboard?
The hose,
yeah. where I was like I do a twerk,
Oh,
but it's not really a twerk.
That was great.
And I'm like, oh my God, I really need to do more stuff like that. I had like DMs and new followers and stuff, and I'm like, oh, maybe there is a thing to this. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like whatever you're comfortable with. Like, obviously you can't force it, because if you're not comfortable, it's
but I mean, that's a part of my stand-up act, right? So if people are sharing that or whatever, like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
The visual and not the joke, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. We should probably wrap up.
We should.
Because you got to buy a house.
I guess.
You got to go have some babies.
No.
Have some babies.
No. Okay.
Do you have names?
I don't know. I was really liking the name Natasha, and then I realized some other dude that I dated once upon a time called me Natasha by accident.
Tainted it forever.
And I'm like, wait, there's a reason why I don't like that name. Oh, no.
You don't feel the pressure to do a Muslim name?
Natasha is like, we would have to do like a, something that works.
Well, like Zara translates easily to like
Zara,
US culture.
like there's a lot of names. Fizza too. Fizza translates too.
It's simple enough.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we have the store Zara here, so there's some sort of reference.
There's like little white girls named Zara, so it's like turning it. It's become a more common name.
Fizza, yeah. I mean, we've got Little Fizz from B2K. There's some carbonated drink, so there's not too much.
People are naming their kids Zendaya and Beyonce now. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I'm just, y'all, can you stop naming your baby boys Aiden? I officially know 19 baby boys named Aiden.
It's a very popular name, and then there's also variations of it, like Caden and
Jaden.
Jaden, yeah. Jaden's a big one.
Yeah, I don't know. Find another, non-secular name. Because otherwise, everyone's just going to be calling your kids by their last names. Because I literally know 19 Aidens.
They're all going to be
under the age of 5.
What generation are the 5-year-olds? What generation is that? Do they have a name yet?
Not Gen Z. Yeah. What's the next one after Gen Z?
Do we start over as a Gen A?
Gen double A.
Gen double A.
Generation small ass titties.
Small ass titties.
Double A's.
Oh, yeah.
Generation Duracell.
Yeah,
batteries.
I was thinking batteries, and I was thinking Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
A lot of that's going to be
okay.
A lot of...
Should we wrap? Should we tell people what to do, where to go?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of shows. Next one is March 8th at Westside Comedy in Los Angeles, California, more specifically Santa Monica. Tickets are only $10.
They're only $10.
It's a banging show.
Come
$10.
out, yo, 9 p.m. The content that we are putting out is so dope. It's so amazing. Whenever you come, anyone who comes to our show, there's brown girl magic to be had. You will feel it. I promise. You will go home happy. We've had freaking aunties come to our show and come up on stage and tell us how proud of us they are.
That reminds me. I haven't posted that video.
We got to post that video.
Okay, so guys, check out our social media, Instagram at Facial Recognition Comedy. I'm going to post this video. We had an auntie come to our show, and she didn't want to come either.
Not even an auntie, the mom of an auntie. This is like
and we turned her, and she came up and made a speech of how much she enjoyed
it was like
show.
a big group hug. It was like the best moment. It's like, okay, forget if my mom doesn't support my dreams. This auntie supports my dreams, and that's all I need in life.
That's all. That's as good as it gets right now.
Yeah. So come out to our shows.
We're back in New York.
Oh, back in New York, the last Friday of March, whenever
I believe it's March 27th. But
March 27th, 11:30 p.m. We are at the New York Comedy Club in Gramercy. Tickets are already online, so if you want to go to the New York Comedy Club's website, use promo code FRC for $10 off. And that's already shaping up to be a dope-ass lineup. We'll announce it more in the coming podcast episodes. But, yeah, if you're in New York, come out. It's not going to be as cold anymore, so you can't use that as an excuse. Come out, have fun. It's always a good time. And then you can follow us on all our socials, Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook.
If you just go to facialrecognitioncomedy.com, then
just go to facialrecognitioncomedy.com. If you haven't subscribed to this already, do it. Send it to your friends. Rate us, like us, leave us reviews. We love when you do that. This is Zara. You can follow me on all the socials. And soon-to-be website, reallyzara.com.
Oh, is that in the works?
Zara.com. Zara, it's spelled Z-A-H-R-A. Yeah, it's in the works. One of our fans is helping me build a site.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think he felt bad for me for getting a bad review about being old. So he DM'd me. He was like, yo, you're so mad. And we got into it. He's like, I can help with your website.
Did he listen to the podcast or something?
He listens to the podcast.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So he heard, you were popping off. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember, it was the episode with Zara Norbach, if anyone wants to listen to that. That was off the chain.
That was 2 episodes ago. Our last one with Usama was fun too.
Yeah, that was
Been getting some great feedback. Listen to our episodes. We're fun, guys.
Cool. So I'm Fizza Dasani, at Fizza Dasani, FizzaDasani.com, FIZAADOSANI. And you guys can get an update on all my shit. And then Pallavi is at Pallavi Ganalan, PallaviGanalan.com, PallaviGunalan. And we're facial recognition comedy. Our audio engineer is Paul. Shout out to him. He loves women in a non-creepy way. And that's it.
We love you, Paul.
That's it. And if you're a woman, put yogurt on your vagina. Just trust me.
What?
We'll have to get into it next episode.
Why did we talk about that?
Okay. Look, next time.
All right.
I cannot emphasize this enough.
We need a whiteboard in here.
Look, plain yogurt, no sugar. If there's sugar in there, you're fucking up. It has to be plain yogurt with cultures, organics better, and lactobacillus. Or bacillus is the specific. I feel like
there's a story
probiotic.
Behind this. A very
I highly recommend
story.
it. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Bye.